Hi everybody, it's Diane from Di's Den here, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Now I did see a card very similar to this done by Iced Images, and I changed the layout a little bit because I wanted these bits to stick up so that I had a writing panel on the back here. So I've made mine so that it's got a writing panel on the back and only two flaps at the front. And I've also made mine to a 7 by 5 where hers was a 5 by 5. So I've upped it a little bit, upped the ante a little bit. I hope she likes what I've done to her card. This is called a box in a box card because you have an inside box as well as an outside box. So this is all done with retired products except for this happy birthday. And I stuck this on half afterwards, so I will be doing that a different way around this time so you can see how I did it. And we will make this card together in Blueberry Bushel. Let me pop this card out of the way for a second. Okay, so we're going to be using Blueberry Bushel because I'm going to do this for my colour creation blog hop as well as my YouTube video and my written tutorial. I'm going to be using Wanted to Say dies, which are a standalone set, and on this set you've got these beautiful dies here that say happy birthday with the shadow behind it, which I've already done. Congratulations, and you've got some bits and pieces here like ribbons and flowers, stars, hearts. Looks like a present. That's the leaves. Then this one says you're too kind, and this one says, I can't tell you upside down, feel better soon. So I just thought they were really lovely. They're a great idea, and they're great because they go with anything. So that's what we're using for our die. We're using the happy birthday from that Want to Say dies. And then I'm just going to use the best wishes out of this artistically inked. So let me pop them up there. So this is my prototype with all my measurements on it. So you're going to have to bear with me while I run around the thing with you. But we will get there. Okay, so let me show you what we need. Okay, for my outer card, you're going to need a piece of card that measures 7 by 10.5. Let me move all these bits so that I can do this properly. For my inner card, you'll need a piece that measures 5.5 by 10 inches. For the back of my card, for the writing panel, you're going to need 2 pieces of card that measure, let me turn that around so I can see, 6 3/4 by 2 1/4 and 6.5 by 2.5 by 2. So 6 3/4 by 2 1/4, 6 by 2. Now I did forget to bring something over, so I will go and get that in a moment. Alright, for the inside back of the card, so let me bring that in. So that was the back of the card. For this piece here, you're going to need 2 pieces of card that measure, let me see if I've got them. That doesn't look like that goes with that. That goes with that one. Oh dearie me, what have I done with them all? Oh, where are you? Oh, there we are. Look at that. You'll need 2 pieces of card that measure 2 inches by 2 1/4. Now, the quarter side is the landscape side, and that's if you've got a directional pattern like I had here, you need to make sure that your pattern goes landscape. And then our 2 pieces that go on top measure 2 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So let me pop them there so I know where they're going. Okay, for my inside piece here and my outside pieces here, you'll need 4 pieces of card that measure 2 1/8 by 1 5/8. And then you're going to, and I've got another one here but I've already cut it. Let me pop this one here for you so we can see. And then because I'm doing 2 different designs here for the inside here and this bit, I'm going to do 2 with 1 7/8 by 1 3/8 and 2 with 1 7/8 and by 1 3/8, which we are going to cut diagonally. For my panels here and under here, under this piece here, you're going to need 4 pieces of card that measure 3 1/4 by 2 1/4 and 4 pieces of designer series paper that measure 3 by 2, so they're going to go on top of that. Then I have my happy birthday that I've got here, and I've got 2 pieces of card so that I can glue this onto here, and these measure 1/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. So we will trim them down as we go, and this is only if you're going to put something like this on the front. So I'll pop those over there. Now I'm just going to go and quickly go and get my corner rounder, which I left on the other table. Oh, ouch. My poor knee, it's really still not 100% yet, but it's getting there. So, okay, so we're going to start by moving all of these out of the way, and I'm just going to pop them over so that I know what goes with what. There we go. And we're going to start by scoring our outer card. So we want the outer box piece, which is the 7 by, oh, I can't even lift it up, by 10 1/2. Ooh, 7 by 10 1/2 piece, and we're going to score along the long side with our small end, remember, at 2 1/2, 5, 7 1/2, and 10. Now we're going to turn it onto the short side, and we're going to score at 3 1/2 through the first, second, and up to the third line with the small one at the top. So 3 1/2 mark, and we're going to score past the first one, second one, and up to the third one. So we've got this section here with only the horizontal line, not the vertical line, not the horizontal line. Sorry. So that's our first piece that we've scored. Let's pop that out of the way. And we're going to score our other piece, which is our 10 inch by 5 1/2. And we're going to score this at 2 3/8, 4 3/4, 7 1/8, and 9 1/2. And that's all the scoring on that we're going to do on the board. But we're going to bring in our pencil and our ruler, and we're going to, on the side where we have our short tab, we're going to go into the next one along, and we're going to mark from the top just 2 inches in. Let me put that down, I can't do the 2 at the same time. 2 inches in, just make a little mark like that, and then we're going to score from there up to the next line at the top. So we have a V shape there, and we're going to do the same again on the other side. We're going to do it from there up to that small tab line. Okay, so once we've done that, our piece should look like that. So we've got our vertical lines and our V line. Now I can rub that little mark out of the middle there, so he's out of the way. Okay, so we'll pop that one out of the way for a minute, and we're going to bring back in this one, and we're going to do some folding and burnishing on the vertical lines, all of the vertical lines. And then we're going to do a little bit of cutting away. So we're going to just, we've got our small tab on the right hand side, and we're going to just notch that in at the bottom, And at this score line here, we're going to notch that and remove the tab. Oops. Okay, so then we're going to turn it around so that we have this tab now on the left hand side, and we're going to cut down the first one to the middle score line at the 3.5 inch mark, and the second one the same. So just those first two ones down to that's 3.5 inch score line. It's not a very good colour to be working with, is it? It's called Blueberry Bushel. So anyway, we're cutting down to that horizontal line, and now we're going to fold those ones back, making sure that they're nice and flat along the bottom and the sides, like so. Alright, so what we're going to do next is what I had to go and get was my corner rounder, and we're going to corner round the either end of this long piece at the top, which is where we've cut that back. So we're going to take corner out of that one and the corner out of that one, and then with these ones we're going to do the same. We're going to do the corner out of that one and the corner out of that one, and the same with this one here. We're going to do that one and that one. Okay, so we've got our 4 pieces, one big corner one there and 2 smaller ones here. So that is our main box. We're going to pop the bits onto this. So we're going to start with the back ones, and we're going to bring in our corner rounder again, and we're going to corner round one on the left hand side. Let's put that back in there nice and tightly, and one on the right hand side. That way when they go onto there it matches around. And we're going to do exactly the same with our white panels. We're going to do one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. So we're going to stamp that now with our little saying, because it's the only little bit of stamping we've got to do. So we're going to stamp that now with our best wishes. Because that's the only bit of stamping we've got. Oh, come on. Doesn't want to close. There we go. And then we're going to glue those together and pop them on. So let's do that now. Let's let that one dry for a few seconds, and we'll get out our glue pot. And let's hope this week my glue is going to come out, and it's not. It's been so cold and damp again this week that the glue just doesn't want to run properly. And as I actually have we have a huge shed here at our property, and I have, oh dear, that wasn't very clever, was it? I'm going to pop something down that side to cover that up. Now I have these flowers, and I'm just going to do them in blue just to cover that, because I'm not going to pull it off and try and fix it any other way. So let me pop that off and pop that on, and I will glue this one on here. And now I should have looked to check whether I had ink all over my hands, which I normally I do. I'm terrible for getting ink all over me. Okay, so let's pop this one on here. And while that one's sitting there drying, I'm going to bring in my blue. which is very tight. That's probably how I got ink all down me. And I'm going to stamp flowers all the way down here. Just to hide that. See, there's always ways to hide things. Now, let me close this ink pad up and make sure I don't have any more ink all over me. Good. And we can glue these onto here. That will actually just give that little bit of interest on the back of the card as well, won't it? So we've got that all stuck in there like so onto the back. Alright, so now we're going to do our top pieces here, which are these two pieces, which measure 2 by 2 1/4 and 1 3/4 by 2. So once again, we're going to round the corner on the left hand side of one and the right hand corner of the other. Let's move my bits and pieces away and we'll bring this one in. Oh, wrong one. Oh no, that's the right one. I thought it was a bit of card then, because it's dark blue on the back. Very dark blue. It's the same colour blue, but okay, and then we're going to glue those onto the top section up here. It's going to be a very bright card. Okay, so that's the back of our card done. So now we're going to put some glue on this tab and we can fold that in and glue the side up. Okay, so let's pop that up way. Bring this one over, matching it up nicely. We can bring that down the side there. And we have our card starting to look like a card now. So we will now do our panels on the front and on the underside. Now, we're going to need to round 2 of them and keep 2 of them plain. So we're going to round both sides of 2 of them, making sure that you've done them on the short sides, and the same with our other pieces here, which let me check whether this goes that way or just one of these go with one of the others. Nope, that doesn't go with that one, does it? Nope. Nope. No, come on. I thought I cut them so there we go. They go in order. And then one of these does. No, one of them doesn't, because I actually had to cut the other one out of another piece. So our top ones, we want them to match. So, and again, if you've got a pattern, make that as directional. Make sure that you have your pattern this time in the portrait style. Okay, so we've got those on there like that. Let's pop these on here. My glue is running like water now, pouring out the top. Never mind, it will slow with time. So I have those two bits done. I'll pop these on the underside. Nice and bright. Wow, yeah, they look really nice and bright. I love that. This is going to be a really bright card. Let's pop that one on. I have no idea who's going to get this. Oh, I've got a bit of an idea who I might give this to. So, okie dokie, so that's the outer part of our card box done. So that's the outer part of the box, really bright. I might put something on here when I'm ready to finish it off, like some stars or something. I'm not sure, I will wait and see. I might just leave it plain because of who I think I might give this to. Okay, so let's pop that out of the way, and we'll bring in our other piece of card, and we're going to do some folding on this one too. So we're going to fold all our vertical lines. And we're going to just trim a notch off the top and bottom. The bottom one's not quite so important, but the top one definitely is. And then we're going to fold this line here so that it folds inwards. So we're going to gently bring that down either side. And once you've got that going, it will go nicely into a nice point just there, making sure that it's level along the bottom and it's fine up the top there. We will bring that along and give that a nice burnish along those lines. So we have this pop in the piece here, popping in bit. Alright, so now we're going to pop these bits on. We're going to pop one on the inside here, like so. These are the bits that are 2 1/8 by 5 and 1 5/8. So we're going to glue these two pieces together. We'll do both of them, but we won't stick both of them in right this very second, because we really need to do a little bit of other work first. So we're going to pop one of these in, and we're going to put the one in on the, look at that, I've got glue on my finger now. Clean pair of pants again today. So we have our outside, and we'll have our middle one, like there we have our tab and our V piece. So we're going to put our piece next to our V piece, making sure we've got a nice border on 3 sides. Then we're going to actually glue that together, because we don't want that line showing, the tab. So we're going to now lay that down flat, and we're going to put some glue on our tab and bring our other one over, making sure that it lines up nicely. And oops. So we can see we've got one on the inside there. So when we glue this one in, this is probably the only one that's a little bit tricky to put in there. So we're going to just lift this piece up so it's flat, and that way we can just pop this one in here like so. Can you see I've done how I've put that in there like that now? So you can see it right like that. Once you're happy with that, we can pop that down nicely and we can push our front piece back in. Okay, so now we have our other two pieces which are the same size. These are 2 and 1/8 by 1 5/8 and excuse me, 1 7/8 by 1 3/8. So we're going to just bring in our trimmer, and we've trimmed this one from the left to the right. So this one we're going to trim from the right down to the left. We're going to make sure that it's right in there nicely, like so. Okay, are we going to do that again, so that we're going to do it from the right hand top down to the bottom left. So we've done one. That is, as you can see, one is from the top right to the bottom left, top left to bottom right. Well, I've got them around the wrong way because they should be that way around. Okay, so we are going to pop the two bottom ones out of the way, and the two top ones, we're going to glue them together. Oh, get the right side, we will. So let's pop that out of the way so I can get in here. Now this will have very tiny border on it, not as much as we have on the rest of the card. If you want to have a bigger border, you need to cut the designer series paper another 1/8 of an inch smaller. Okay, so we're going to pop them ones up there like so. Alright, so let's wipe that glue off of there and pop it all on the back of that one. And we're going to pop that one on there. And that one onto that one. Okay, so that's the inner piece here done. For our bottom bits, we're going to pop these two pieces out of the way, and we're going to glue these ones on here, like so. I'm doing it this way because I'm putting the happy birthday on there. Now, if you're not going to put a happy birthday on there, you can just glue the two pieces together. Oops. The designer series paper and the layer. But as I'm putting a happy birthday on there, I need to do that. I want to put it like this one. I had it over the top. I want to put it underneath, so I'm going to pop that out, pop that in like that first, and then do it. So we're going to bring in our main box, and now we're just going to pop a little bit of glue down the front on these two pieces here. That's the only place we're going to put the glue. We're going to pop this up so that it's square, and this one up and square, and we're going to just slide one inside the other. Once we've slid it in and we know it's touching the bottom, we're going to squeeze it together so that the front glues down tight. Now we only want the front to glue down. If you glue the back down, it's not going to move as nicely. So that's my card like this, and I'm going to bring in this bit and I'm going to pop these on here. So I have my two little tabs that I'm going to put on the back of this happy birthday. that way I can see where I want my happy birthday to be sitting, just like that. And then I can pop a little bit of glue on the bottom of these tabs here. And I can line that up nicely where I want it, making sure that it's nice and level. So I'll make sure that my happy and my birthdays are all nice and level with the top of the card here. See? Pop them on there nice and tight like that. Then I will glue my layer over the top. Now this was something I decided afterwards that it would look better. You wouldn't see that blue line there, or whatever colour line you're putting on there. If you were to do it with, let's say, acetate, you wouldn't have to worry. But because I was doing it with that, I didn't want it to show. So I thought, well, why not? So that's what I've done. My top one will be a little bit, needs a little bit of curving because the bottom one will curve normally. So I need to curve the top one. And that's my card. Well, let me pop the pin in my glue. I would like to thank Louise from, I think it's Louise, from Iced Images for the inspiration. And this is my version of her card. Her card, these pieces laid down at the back, and her card was only 5 by 5, so both pieces were the same size, where mine is 5 by 7 and it will lay nicely in a 5 by 7 envelope. So that's my card. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll hold that up like that so you can see them. If you have enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I love to hear from everybody. I really do. And thank you very much for all the subscriptions, everybody that subscribes. Excuse me again. If you'd like the written tutorial for this card, please head down below to the link for Die-Stand for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you'll find the link to my Facebook group. It goes live the same time with the same name. So I'm calling this a box in a box card. I'm not sure what the other one was called, but that's what I'm calling it, a box in a box card. And it goes live as 8 AM South Australian time, and so does the that's for the YouTube channel, and for my tutorial goes live exactly the same time with the same name. So if you want one and you want the other, you know where to go. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.